Hello and welcome to our World Recreational Fisheries Conference interview series, recorded live from the conference this year. Today I'm joined by Valerio Sbragaglia, behavioral ecologist with the Marine Sciences Institute and a keynote speaker at this year's conference. Valerio's research sits at the fascinating intersection of behavioral ecology and fisheries sciences. He studies how animal behavior and evolutionary processes interact with fishing pressure, particularly through fisheries-induced evolution. His work spans marine crustaceans, fishes, and zebrafish. And he has a strong interdisciplinary focus on recreational fisheries, especially spearfishing. His keynote address, What I Learned at WRFC, an integrated research journey, reflects on both the science and the human dimensions of recreational fisheries research. Valerio, thank you very much for coming all the way to join us in South Africa for World Recreational Fisheries Conference 2026.
Thank you, Nicola. I'm happy to be here.
Please could you introduce yourself for us? I've done a little bit of it, but in your own words, your role, your area of research, and what exactly brings you to the conference this year.
You said I'm a behavioral ecologist. That's my background, what I studied in particular during my career in my PhD. But then just after my PhD, I started to integrate more and more aspects of recreational fisheries, which means animal behavior, yes, ecology, but also the human dimension, which means understanding not only the fish and the fish behavior, but also the recreational fisher behavior, so human behavior. What brings me here is this is an excellent, fascinating, and also inspiring community. It's a conference that is occurring every 3 years, and I do my best to be here at this conference. And this year it's South Africa, so I was never been to South Africa, and this is also I received the honor to be invited as a keynote speaker.
Are you enjoying your time in South Africa?
Yes. As I told you, it's the first time. I will spend some days of my holiday here after the conference, and looking forward to coming back maybe in the future.
Perfect. Tell me, your keynote is titled What I Learned at WRFC, an integrated research journey. Tell me what this journey looks like, if you can detail it for us.
Yes, I decided to present this journey because the conference really shaped my career just after the PhD. I was coming from a disciplinary perspective, which was chronobiology. So was quite focusing on biological rhythms of lobsters with some insights into fisheries dynamics, but not so much. And then when I participated for the first time to this conference in 2017, was edition number 8, and this is edition number 11, I really realized that I could have accomplished my goal, my career goal at this conference, because here you can speak about behavior, and as I told you before, human behavior, bioeconomics, social aspects, but not in a separate way, but in an integrated way. That's, I believe, it's what I learned in this journey, that you can really ask questions which is relevant for recreational fisheries, and then get the tools, understand and learn the tools at the conference on how to answer to this question in a very cohesive and comprehensive way that is worth for recreational fisheries management.
I know a lot of people have learned from you during the last few days. What have you taken away from the discussions and talks that you've attended?
As always, I attended some talks that are usual at this conference, such as ecology applied to animal behavior and animal movements, but also as any edition, I discovered new way of approaching the research, new methodology, new ideas, and in particular, ideas that can be applied on a very disparate and different case studies or recreational fisheries system, which is from freshwater to deep seawater. And then you can really understand how you can generalize your research question and make it worth for all the people that are involved in recreational fisheries research.
Valerio, for someone who doesn't understand what a behavioral ecologist does, please could you explain?
We can start for a more popular term, which is ecology, so understanding animal behavior, why animals behave in a certain way, how we can study and quantify that, and then how these kind of behaviors have an implication on the ecology of the species, for example, on population dynamic. And on top of this, behavioral ecology applied to fisheries integrates the aspects that help us to understand how animal behavior can predict catchability in a fishery, or as you said before, how fishing can change animal behavior through evolution or through also other mechanisms that can be not evolutionary.
Obviously, you have a strong interest in recreational fisheries, which brings you here, particularly spearfishing. What makes spearfishing an interesting lens through which to study behavior?
I'm sure, I know that I studied marine science because I'm passionate about spearfishing in particular. And this kind of fishing technique is quite unique and different from the other fishing techniques that we have seen at this conference, which is angling, fly fishing in general, or fishing on the surf at the beach, because humans are underwater with the fish. They can have visual contact of the fish and decide what to catch or not. And in particular, the fish perceive humans as sort of natural predators, and therefore they react to the human presence with anti-predator responses that are typical of natural predator-prey interaction. So this means that you can study spearfisher and fish as a natural predator-prey system. Therefore, you can really generalize general questions about predator-prey dynamics, which are relevant for ecology and evolution.
And then from your perspective, why is recreational fisheries research especially important right now, as we sit in 2026?
Yeah, we are navigating complex geopolitical dynamics at the moment in several parts of the world, conflicts and friction between stakeholders that are sharing the same space and same resources, such as recreational fishing and commercial fishing, but also recreational fishing with other leisure activity. If you have limited space, such as lake or a small part of coastal marine areas, and therefore understanding how we can estimate potential impact of recreational fishing, the importance of recreational fishing for local communities, such as social and economic aspects, integrate all of that into possible management solutions, I believe can really help us to maximize the benefits of this activity and also mitigate and minimize the impact on the marine freshwater ecosystems.
What do you think are the biggest challenges being faced at the moment?
I believe the big challenge in recreational fisheries management is finding management solutions that can be easily applied and generalized, because it's quite hard to find something that is working in a region such as South Africa, where we are today, but you cannot apply the same strategy of management, for example, in the place in which I'm living and working, which is north part of Spain or Italy. And this is really hard because there is no guidelines to do that. You need to sit down with stakeholders, managers, and all the people involved in this kind of local dynamics and find a way to negotiate the best solution for everybody, which is not easy.
If we look 10 years from now, what do you hope has changed or advanced by 2036?
I'm integrating a lot of new technology into recreational fisheries for understanding, in particular, social dynamics and social ecological dynamics on social media. So in the digital culture that we are creating every day with our activity on the internet. So I really hope this can really help us to have sort of near real-time information on how recreational fisheries are developing, and integrate that into management would be one of my long-term goals for my career. Yeah. I hope this will happen soon.
And finally, one takeaway that you hope everybody leaves this conference with at the back of their minds as they go back to their countries and back to doing their research.
I believe the plenary talk of today made it clear. There are some aspects of recreational fisheries, conflicts, and navigating this dynamic moment of the world, which is bring us to think about pessimistic view. But the same talk also highlighted potential for a optimistic view for the future, because some good things are happening, happen and will happen. So my take-home message is that we can be optimistic, but we need to be smart and clever in moving towards that way and think that this is possible, using all the tools and knowledge that we are sharing in this week here in South Africa.
Valerio, what does your ideal day look like as someone who likes fishing?
In this moment of my life, I believe the ideal day is get out fishing, spear fishing with my family, get a nice fish that I will clean and prepare for dinner, and that's it. That's my ideal day today.
Slow, simple, and sustainable. Definitely.
Yes.
Valerio, thank you so much for traveling to South Africa for this conference and for sharing your knowledge with us.